Morning, friends. It's Lance Klessig, George Heller, Mr. Ray Archuleta, and it's a beautiful morning down here, Missouri, at Ray and Sonia's place. And I guess the topic for the day is, well, before we get to that, the topic for the day is going to be about regenerative farming and agriculture, but really kind of some paradigms and kind of how we think about things, the renewal of the heart and the mind. But this guy and I have had just the privilege of staying here and just hanging out as men, and it's just been really wonderful. And I think that's just really been beautiful. So I just want to thank you, Ray, and thank you, Sonia.
Well, you're welcome. We're tickled to have you guys. We finally came up with our name. We call it Sanctuary Ranch because it is our sanctuary, and the planet's that same way. And we were talking about regenerative agriculture. Regenerative agriculture, if you take the root word, is renewal, the renewal of the natural system. But we've talked about what makes regenerative agriculture different from the current system. And what makes it different is that you're emulating nature's design, the creator's design, its architecture, it's the way it works, to flow with it, and to actually collaborate with it. And the key thing that we talk about a lot in regenerative agriculture is the most critical thing is the renewal of the mind. Total different way of looking at things. And I know, because I spent years in college, and I knew that when you're taught the wrong premise, the wrong foundation, no matter if you're in science, whatever you do, if it's the wrong premise, everything else is wrong. And my premise, what I was taught in school, is force, manipulate, use genetics, manipulation, force it with chemicals, fertilizer, and all that, and with the tools. But rarely was I ever taught, no, your job is to love it, to nurture it, work with it, understand, observe it. So regenerative agriculture is really the renewal of the mind and heart first.
And the heart, yeah.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
I think one thing that the three of us have connected with is, I don't know, like it's not just intellectual. It's the heart connection, right? And it's the, we're all Christians, and I took a walk this morning, and I called it my sunrise savior walk, and I needed to chill out. I'm on the Archuleta, ranch here, and I needed that. And I think we all need that to help renew our minds and our hearts every day. I need to chill out, right? And so, I don't know, George, what do you think? What do you want to add to, you're a sheep whisperer. It's been a pleasure to run Missouri. We were at Greg Judy's a couple days back, and I don't know, what do you want to encourage people with?
It's not just about the farming aspect of it. It's about a whole different lifestyle, different way of thinking. I think we've been led astray on what's actually important in life, and you can get really caught up in what's going on in this type of agriculture practices. You really gotta slow down and observe. And with those observations, then you make your decisions out of those observations. You don't just pick an ideal and then hammer down towards that ideal. You got to actually adapt. The big thing about, like we talk about adapting, planning to adapt, But it's adaptive. It's all adaptive, because not one farm is the same as the other, and not one operation is not the same as the other. It's all different. Even different pastures. This pasture is different than the pasture down the road. It's all, you got to look at it in your word, context. It's all about context and where you're at and what's good for you. You got to decide what you want, and not get caught up in you got to do this and you got to do that. You got to get these big yields, and you got to put this many pounds on an animal. You got to wean the calf it this way. You got to do this, do that. Who made all that up? I don't know. Who made it all up.
We kind of got some ideas.
Yeah. So it's just about going back to like he says, the design, the original design, and then observing that, the actual real science of observe, the study of, not making up stuff to
Sell things.
Sell things and control the situation. It's about observing the environment around you, adapting to that, and then adjusting your management practices to be successful in your environment.
one of the key things to remember when we end this is about community
Oh yeah.
and relationship. You're having a relationship with the natural system, and that takes, like what George took, observation, relate, be part of it. I think what a lot of farmers have lost that relationship, and not only relationship, but relationship with your community. Create community of the same thought, people that have the same thought process.
Right.
The goal, and there's always a, how do we emulate the natural system? How do we flow with it? When you walk into a farm, it should be beautiful. You should hear the beauty and see the beauty. Bring people in that same community to work with you that have that same process, because don't do this by yourself.
Oh yeah.
It'll take your whole lifetime. So if you work with a group, that person, George, say, George, you do that sampling, you do that kind of mix. Lance, you do this. Ray, you do this, and we meet together as a community. If they do not have that same goal of emulating the
Can't be in
natural,
the group.
don't be in the group. You're just going to mess things up. Remember the end goal of the regenerative agriculture, to flow, to work, and cut all the inputs so you can make money. One thing I want to say finally about regenerative agriculture is so beautiful. It brings healing not only to the land, to the people, to your checkbook. Yeah, and so that you're not
part
just
of the equation.
a part of the equation. If a farm and ranch cannot make money, then why are you doing it? It has to support the farm and ranch. Economics, the money of the house. Ecological, you can't get the economics right unless the ecology's right, the study of the house and how it works.
Right.
So Lance, thanks for having us out here. And George, you've been a blessing too, both of you. Thank you for coming to visit Sanctuary Ranch.
Sanctuary Ranch. And you know what? I want to just piggyback one thing, the community thing. George and I are 11 hours from home. We started this little trip kind of last minute. The Lord really put it together at Greg Judy's, who is, you know, George's mentor.
Yeah.
You know, this guy is one of my mentors. These guys, we're all on a similar team of helping each other through life. And, you know, I've been through some hard stretches lately. And these guys, I trust, I love, and I let them speak into my life. And that's the chill factor. I need to be told to chill out. And sometimes George needs to be encouraged. You know, and Ray, you need a lot of things. But I just want to say, you know, again, I agree with the networking. That team of people like-minded, that might mean driving 6 hours, might mean, I don't know, investing in a soil health academy, ranching for profit. You guys are having a school in September, October.
Yeah.
This guy's having one, and bringing a friend from Isaac from Greg Judy's place. So I just encourage you to think outside the box as we think about community, regen farming, and the like. So with that, we're gonna do the Minnesota Nice say goodbye. This is round 2, I think.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, friends, for watching. Subscribe to his channel. You can do that for me, and come to an event where Ray's at. He's the soil whisperer, and privileged to know you. So
Thank you.
thanks, friends.
Good.